What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to 210 Show. Fellas, you ready to get into it tonight?
Let's get it.
All right. Well, let's do some
Yes, sir.
introductions.
All right. This is Angry Joey.
This is the hater with facts.
And me, I'm Mr. Raider. So it looks like we're going to be talking about some college football and some NFL. Is that correct?
Sounds
Yes.
about right. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Let's go. Who wants to take it?
I'll take it, sir. So good evening, everybody. And so tonight, unfortunately, I'm going to have to speak on some news that have come out in recent weeks in regards to not just college football, but college sports altogether, with some decisions that have been made with some changes to some tournament rules and configurations that could potentially impact how we view and how we watch college sports going forward. So, starting first with college basketball. So, last month, the decision was made by the NCAA that they're going to expand March Madness from 68 teams to 76 teams. So, this is straight from the NCAA. They're saying that they're growing the field from 68 teams to 76, and the first four that we normally see now will become a larger opening round. And the opening round will take place in Dayton, Ohio, includes 12 games on Tuesday and Wednesday after selections are made. And so, in light of that, so all they're doing is just expanding the opening round. So once all that is filtered out, it will still end up being your 64 teams going into the rest of the tournament. It's just that they're expanding the opening week, the opening days of the tournament. So, and they're doing this not just in the men's side, but also the women's side as well. And so in this article, they're saying that the biggest reason that they're doing this is because just from last year, they're looking to they reported a 10.9 million views, 10.9 million viewers of the men's basketball championship from across all their networks just last year. And then on the women's side, they saw an average of 9.9 million viewers across their networks as well, which was an increase of 15% from the previous year. So of course, they're saying, like, oh, we got more eyeballs on this. Let's go ahead and just expand it even further so we can have more eyeballs on the product. So they're saying that their goal, or potentially with this expansion, it could be looking at an increase of $131 million additional to be divided amongst the schools potentially. So now, as much as this is the primary piece of the document here, and for me, I don't like it. I absolutely don't like it, only because you're like, it's given a false premise in my personal opinion. The tournament is supposed to be like VIP, and I know I mentioned this a lot in college football, and I'll get to that in a minute because that's even more egregious. But as far as the college basketball is concerned, between they already can't handle NIL as it is, and now you're you're expanding the opening round of the tournament to allow an additional 12 teams for what? I mean, I just feel like it's diluting the product a little bit, but that's on the basketball side of things. So I would love to give your take on this news that we're going to see going to 27.
Mm, Dang. I, mm, I have mixed emotions about it. If I'm going to try to be objective. Like,
Okay.
let me just say, I agree with the premise that it's going to dilute the product. I agree with that 100%. I don't, and just don't necessarily want to see that. Now, if I'm being objective, the other side of me says, well, this gives the other small schools, if you will, another opportunity to compete with the rest of the schools and make some money, you know? So maybe that's the positive out of it. I don't know. Just trying to be objective. What do you think?
I hear you, but I think there's so much going on all at once. And I still don't think that the NCAA has fully wrapped their hands around the construct of NIL right now. And you're doing this. I think it just, like I said, I think it still gives a false premise to the small schools that they actually have a chance.
Hmm.
Especially since a lot of they already can't compete on a financial level as far as, off the NIL offerings that they can with the bigger schools, because they're not capped, and I know you mentioned that as a possible idea, and they still haven't done that. So are it's almost like you're painting the illusion that they have that chance, even though you know that the quality of player, they're actually being extracted from the smaller schools to the bigger ones. Now, I my Michigan Wolverines benefited because we won a championship last year, even though we didn't talk about that, but go blue. But but we did have 5 transfers in our starting lineup. So now they didn't come from, Division II schools or anything like that. Well, actually, no, I take that back because Lindenborg came from
Yeah,
UAB, but
some of them were
um
juniors and seniors, right? They were seasoned players.
they were juniors, mostly juniors and seniors from other schools. Either they weren't starting or not in Lindenborg's case, he was starting, but like Mara and Morris Johnson and stuff like that, they were coming off the bench at the like UCLA and Illinois respectively. If I got the schools right. But again, this is not just, happening at Michigan, it's happening all over the place. So I the transfer portal and NIL and stuff like that, it's taking talent away from these smaller schools. So even though you're inviting them in, it's like, who are they bringing to the dance? You know what I mean? So
Mm.
so to me, I think it's a false premise, and they'll take the money and run. You know what I mean? But I just feel like overall for the audience and for the viewer, I think is a little bit misleading. And all they're doing is just manipulating the eyeballs of the fan bases of those smaller schools who are going to watch their teams get smashed.
Yeah, but the NCAA loves a good Cinderella upset story, though. You know,
They do, but if last year or last tournament is any indication, then Cinderellas are slowly dying away. Because
uh,
think about it,
good point.
Texas was a 12 seed last year, and they they were trying to paint that label as a Cinderella. Like, yeah, no, you're not a Cinderella. You know what I mean? Like you don't fit that profile. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I just feel like this is a disaster waiting to happen, and unfortunately they're not gonna go back. And so again, this is just a small stepping stone of egregious work in comparison to what football's trying to do. But Edgar Joy, I would love to get your thoughts on this.
I really have no thoughts on this.
Okay,
That
well,
was easy.
yeah, all right, well, all right. So now, woo, okay. So let me get to the big one. Okay, now college football. Now they're not making any changes for 26. Okay, and as a matter of fact, they're not. At least right now, they have not talked about any changes going into 27. But there are discussions that they are looking at potentially expanding the college football playoff from its current 12-team format to a 24-team format.
24.
24. Now, the Big 12, the Big 10, shockingly, and the Big 12, Big 10, and ACC, they are in agreement for a 24-team playoff. The SEC, I can't believe I'm about to say this, thankfully, are pushing back against this. They are looking to, if they're going to do an expansion, they want to expand to 16 teams instead. But they're the only
Yeah.
holdout right now of the Power Four. Now, if they do this, what they're looking at doing is not only expanding it, what it will cause to happen is it will absorb away the smaller bowl games that we see every year. They'll absorb that in to facilitate this, but also it would possibly eliminate conference championships.
Mm. How
So,
so?
yeah, so the
Okay, so
expansion,
that's a problem.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So even if I'm not sure if the SEC's proposal of a 16-team structure would eliminate conference championships or not, but the 24 if a 24-team college football playoff was actually adopted, it would eliminate conference championships because that's the only way, as far as from a time frame perspective, that's the only way you'll be able to squeeze it in. So this
Damn.
is, yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how long it will be. I don't know what other type of compromise that actually would happen, but just the thought of doing this, it just infuriates me to my core right now because y'all already know. I've already been a staunch advocate that it shouldn't even gone to 12 teams. I've been on the record. I said that it shouldn't have been no more than 8. That was my thing, or at least let it been 8 for the first couple of years so you can figure out what adjustments need to be made. But now they're just going all out. Well, where does it end? Like, so you mean to tell me there's going to be some 7 or 8 or I guess a 4 or 5 loss team that gets invited to the college football playoff? Like, what are we doing? This is
Yeah.
supposed to be a tournament that's supposed to highlight the best of the conferences. But no, you're just saying, oh, it should be a round robin. Like, no, like I know you want more money, but my God, like, can we please protect the integrity of college football and preserve what makes it special and different from what we see from the NFL product? Like, stop trying to be NFL junior, man. Like, we already know that you're basically a feeder league for the NFL. That's already happening. You already got that. You don't have to make it any worse by expanding the college football playoff to the point we can't even recognize it. And now you're
Come
going to
on.
sacrifice the
Come on,
tradition of
Hater.
college football?
You know damn good and well that the NIL actually already made themselves, basically a stepping stone for NFL. I mean,
Yes, you're
they're
right.
a professional sport now. That's all they
Yeah.
are.
I 100% agree with you, Angry Joey. But at the same time, now instead of, again, we've asked for, or at least I've advocated for some guardrails on this thing. No, they're really going balls to the wall on this, and I don't like it. I really, really don't. This is terrible.
Well, you see what NIL. Okay, this is one of the biggest disagreements that I actually had with NIL, is the fact that this shit was actually going to happen in the first place. We're actually seeing it in basketball. I mean, who in their right mind is actually going to want to go see a NBA, or excuse me, be an NBA player when they can actually make millions working, for free in the NCAA? I don't get it. I've always been a big, staunch opponent of the NIL. I think it's a bad idea.
I think it's the combination of I've said this all the time. It's the combination of the NIL plus the no guardrails on the transfer portal. Between those two things, it is slowly but surely eroding the tradition of college football. Now, again, I don't have a problem with the kids getting paid, because the disparity, at least back then, the disparity between what the schools were receiving and what the students were getting was completely crazy. But
Yeah.
there still needed to be a limit, and there needed to be guardrails, and they completely dropped the ball on it. And this is what happens when you allow the Wild West to happen, and you allow the endowments and the boosters and stuff like that to basically take over college football, and the NCAA completely advocates or adjudicates their responsibility. It's crazy to me, and is only getting worse. And now, and just a small point, and I'll shut up. They make mention of the fact that these private equity firms are going into these conferences and trying to get a stake in all of this. And I think that's another driving force behind it as well, because they made mention of the Big 12 made a deal where they're getting a $30 million per school, essentially a payday loan from from a private equity stake at a 10% interest rate. Now, they didn't mention how long that deal is for, but if this is if this is an example of what's happening within the conferences, and and it's definitely not a lot of reports on these things. If this is what's happening, it's only going to get worse.
Mm. I I agree, but let me go back to what you said something a couple minutes ago. I think that the expansion of the college football playoff. I've been on record saying that I'm okay with 12 or 16 teams, but no more, because that way, if you just kept it to that, you would be able to keep your conference championship games.
Mhm.
You just like take one of those home or away games, right?
Right.
And switch them around or something like that. But you can make it work at least that way. It sounds to me that they, instead of just getting some of the bag, they're trying to go for the whole bag and forget the consequences. Stand the consequences.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my
They're
thought.
already eroding the tradition of the rivalries, right? Because
Yes,
if you
yes,
if you expand, like, the expansion already is making some teams, second guess if they're going to play their players with their end of year rivalry games. You know what I
Very
mean?
good point.
So
Very, very good point. I mean, and one prime example would be USC versus Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yep. So and
Yep,
and
Alabama.
I've been
Alabama and Auburn, right? Is that the latest? I think Alabama's not playing Auburn or it was something. Alabama, Ohio State. I mean, Alabama, Ohio State, right?
it was yep. And I've been waiting to get Wu Pig on here so I can give him crap about his beloved ACC trying to duck or SEC trying to duck smoke. But this is the type of stuff because the selections, right? The selection committees and sometimes with their bias or lack thereof, like they're causing some of this stuff and it's dissuading the bigger schools to play each other during the season because they feel like they're being punished for it. And that's what you don't want, right? So now, if you expand the playoff and eliminate conference championships, it's only going to further not incentivize these teams to play each other, which is exactly what you don't want. So I completely hate this. They're speaking on it like it's going to be an inevitability, and I wish there was some cooler heads that would prevail on this, but the greed is something else, man.
Yeah, I'd agree.
How about we shift gears?
Let's do it.
Maybe something more professional.
Okay. Well, yeah, go ahead, Angel Joy.
All right. Well, I was just going to actually bring up, the NFL actually did it right this year. I mean, as far as I can tell, some of the matchups that we're actually going to be seeing here, man, there are some marquee matchups. I mean, just starting week 1, holy cow. You actually have the, for Thursday night game, the very, very beginning of the year, they actually have the 49ers against the Rams. I mean,
That's
come
gonna be a
on.
good game.
That's going to be
Okay.
a nasty one. I mean, these two fucking teams, I mean, they are going to bang. They really are. That is going to be a, must watch game,
Yeah.
all things considered. And then, of course, and here's another one, that, really caught my attention was the Bills and the Texans. They're actually, they're going to be, man, because the Bills, they've gotten better, but the Texans have gotten really better.
Their
So I think
defense
that,
is
their defense is nasty. So I think that's going to be really a fun game to watch. I mean, and leaving fantasy football aside and so on and so forth, I just think, speaking strictly about fantasy, or excuse me, football in general. And then, of course, the first Monday night game is another marquee matchup. I mean, not to sound biased or anything, but the Broncos and the Chiefs. I believe it's going to be an Arrowhead, for week 1, but that's going to be a really fun one to watch as well. So I think that I'm going to be glued to the TV on that one. Then the next Thursday night game, holy cow!
Oh,
You have
wait,
the
hold on. Wait,
oh,
hold on,
I'm sorry.
Angel Joy.
Okay.
You forgot one very key matchup too for week 1.
Okay.
It's the very first game. It's a rematch of the Super Bowl. New England at Seattle.
Oh yeah. Okay, so oh shit, that's right. Because it's actually going to be played on Wednesday night. I did miss that.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you very much for showing that up to me. I think that the Seahawks are going to beat the piss out of them. But we'll see. We'll see. Now that they don't have their running back anymore, who knows?
Well,
And
Jadarian
the
Price
Patriots.
isn't a bad consolation prize, dude.
Well, not only that, but if the Patriots actually make a move for AJ Brown, as the all the rumors say, well, who knows? I mean, the Patriots, they might be a sneaky win there.
I know who knows. Diana Rossini.
hey, I was gonna bring that up. Now, there's
Too
there's a
soon?
little bit, there's a
Yeah.
little bit of
I
distraction
was
going
gonna go
on.
there, man. Dude,
You
okay.
know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
She would know.
hey, maybe she got that inside scoop.
All right.
All right.
I'm not going there. But but yes, that is a very correct take there. I think that's going to be a fun one to watch.
Mhm.
I didn't realize that it was going to be on a Wednesday night. For goodness sake!
Yeah.
Holy cow! And then let's see. Then we have the ooh, holy cow! This could be a good one. Thursday night, the week 2, you got the Lions, your
Yes.
boys,
Yep.
against the Bills.
Yep.
How do you
And I
see
think
that one shaking out there, buddy?
I think they're opening up the new stadium too. We're gonna be there for that. So
Okay.
I mean, I I don't I give ourselves a chance. I mean, it's early on in the season. If here's my thing about this, like especially like inclement weather teams, like like the Buffaloes of the world. If you can get them early, I'll take it. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, most
So
definitely.
now I got some complaints about the Lions schedule. I'll get to that later. But at least right now, starting off with, if I got to get the Buffalo Bills at their spot, I'd rather take it in September than December. So
I
I'll
agree.
take that. Yeah.
I agree. So another one that actually really caught my eye is in week 2 is the oh man, this is always a fun one. The Raiders versus the Chargers.
That's gonna
How
be
do
a
you
good
see that
game.
one playing out
Yeah.
there, Mr. Raider?
All right. I'm gonna say that it's gonna be competitive. I think it's gonna be won by a field goal because it seems to me that the Chargers and the Raiders are kind of on the same wavelength in terms of like maybe the Chargers are slightly ahead of where we want to be, but I think they're pretty much even if you think about it.
Okay. Well,
Think
to be fair, I mean, and everybody knows that I'm the biggest Raider hater of them all, but I will admit that the Raiders significantly better this
on
last off.
paper,
Well,
on
on
paper,
paper, of course, but at the same time, I mean, they actually have some tools, with Crosby, Brock Bowers, and Genty, and now that they have their stud quarterback, we'll see Mendoza. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But
gotta have
I
somebody
think
to throw to.
yeah. Well, he has Bowers. I think that they probably could use a little bit more wide receiver help, but I mean, but they definitely have their backfield shored up, and I think that that's on purpose. I think that the Raiders they intend on banging the ball, so that's what makes this matchup so intriguing is the
Oh yeah,
fact that both of them, both the Chargers and the Raiders, have the same philosophical mindset. Wouldn't you agree with that?
yeah. I would for the most part. That's why I say I think they're really evenly matched. So it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, I think that this one should have actually been a marquee matchup. This one should have been prime time, but
Yeah,
Agree.
it
but
is what it is.
It's hard to have a marquee matchup on prime time when you fucking finishing last
I
place. You
agree.
know,
And for the viewers, so for there is a certain limit for prime time viewers, or excuse me, prime time teams that actually get there, and it's 5. So, for any team to act, every single team is going to have a Thursday night game, so that's 1, but uh, who the hell knows, how these schedule makers make it. And ESPN, now that they've actually taken over, who knows? So following that, Monday night game, that's going to be kind of a
I'm
dud.
sorry. Let me interrupt just real quick. So, how many of these
Oh,
games are going to be stream only?
stream only.
Glad you-
Yeah,
I'm
like
glad you brought that up
because
because
this is getting ridiculous.
oh yeah.
Oh.
So
Well,
um
and stream through what? I
yes,
mean, it's gonna be Netflix,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
it's going to be
Prime, it's gonna be
Peacock or
ESPN. I mean, for
yeah,
yeah.
fuck's sake, I mean, it gets bananas, I mean, and people are, you know, chasing their tails trying to find out where the fuck to watch a game. It
yeah.
it's it
Hate
it
that.
sucks. I mean, and I think we actually summed that up in a Kiss My Grits episode not
Nice.
too long ago, but anyway, yeah, but that's a very, very good point.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Because
So
what I don't want to have happen is that the only way you can watch a game is if you have Peacock. Like it should be on other platforms. And
dude,
I've read something where was it the FCC or the
FCC, yeah.
yeah is
Yeah.
looking at this issue.
I've heard
Yeah.
that. I've heard that as well.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know
It,
anymore on that.
it
I have to research some more, but that's what I heard.
it is an issue. It definitely is. So
So,
moving on.
yeah, I'm looking at it right now as far as like the streaming stuff. So it looks like Thursday nights is split between Amazon and Netflix. Fridays is belongs or any Friday games belongs to Amazon, and then Christmas Day is Netflix, and the
Really?
international games, some of the international games are being streamed alongside Fox and CBS. So
Okay.
yeah,
So we're getting into some of the more marquee games, but to continue on to week 3, I don't know, man. It looks like a little bit of a dud, because you start off Monday night with the Giants and the Rams. I don't know who the wants to watch that.
Yeah.
And then you have, excuse me. Yeah,
wait,
Monday,
week 3?
September 21st. Yeah, week 3.
Oh, that's no, that's week 2.
Oh, is that week 2?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's week
I'm
2.
sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, you have
So it remains. Who wants to see that? I'm with you. I'm with you, Angry Joey.
Yeah. It just it's
all
gonna be
right.
bad.
So then
And then
Thursday, week 3, you actually have the Falcons and the Packers.
mm, eh,
Uh, eh,
eh,
whatever.
yeah.
Let me see. What else do we have here that is looking really, really interesting?
Oh, I got one.
Oh, you got
Monday
one?
night. Yep. Monday night. Philly at
Oh,
Chicago.
Eagles and the Bears?
Yeah, buddy.
That's gonna be a good one.
That'll be a
Yeah,
fun
Caleb
one.
Williams gonna be running for his life. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll
Um,
do you another one. And once again, I'm not trying to sound homerish, but the Broncos and the Rams.
yeah,
Okay.
that's Sunday night too.
Well, yeah, it's a Sunday night game. It's a prime
Oh
time game.
boy.
So we're gonna see, what the Broncos are really made of. I mean, do they have the mettle to actually contend with the the likes of the Rams?
Mm.
Super Bowl contenders, or are they contenders or are they pretenders?
Well, the
We
thing
will.
about that too, both and we'll definitely be talking about this in future pods too, but particularly for your Broncos and the Chiefs, you might be having the same issue where I've heard as far as from the injuries to your quarterbacks, who knows if they're actually going to be
Yeah.
available by the time we get there.
Are
Yeah. I
you
was gonna
talking
So,
say,
about
when is Pat Mahomes supposed to be back?
eh,
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
okay. So the rumor is that it's funny you bring that up because the NFL would not have actually scheduled Monday Night Football between Kansas City Chiefs and the Broncos if they didn't think that it was going to be a Bo Nix versus Mahomes type thing.
I
So
mean,
I am of the belief and of the understanding that both Mahomes and Nix are going to be healthy game
they
1.
they can okay, that's I think is wishful thinking
Yeah.
because you're talking about
I Bo
Bo
Nix,
Nix.
he had an ankle injury, so okay, the one person you probably need to worry about more would be Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Just because he actually had a very, very bad knee injury and nobody wants to see that happen.
Well,
I mean, he had an MCL, an LCL, an ABC,
EFGL.
NICKEY injury. So
Yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah.
his knee
Poor guy.
up. I mean,
Yep.
he tore every ligament, and but rumor has it that he is actually going to be going to training camp.
Mm.
Okay, so okay,
I'm not Nostradamus here, so I don't know, as to whether or not, both of them are going to be on the field or not. But if I had to say, Nix is probably going to get on the field before Mahomes will. If that,
yeah,
just I know that sounds like wishful thinking, but at the same time, I mean, because of the significance of the injury, I think that Mahomes, he was hurt really bad, and I
so
mean, yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so I'm just gonna push back a little bit. The only reason why is it's not just the injury that they suffered. It's when they suffered it. Patrick Mahomes, he got his MCL injury, I believe it was in December last year, and Bo Nix literally broke his ankle at the AFC Championship game. So, or no, not the AFC Championship game. It was before the AFC Championship game. So, I
Yeah,
I
it
think
was divisional rivalry.
yeah. So
So
that was in January. So you mean
but
so?
you're talking 2 weeks of differentiation, and you're talking about the significance of an injury.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
no, that's I don't agree with that at all. Because I mean, Mahomes' injury was way more complicated than
I
Nix's was.
I don't disagree. What I'm saying is, as far as for week 1 availability, I'm of the mindset right now, you won't see neither one of them. I don't even expect
Oh
Patrick. I
man,
don't ex yeah,
that
I don't expect Patrick to at least, until at least week 10 or 11. That's just me. Now
okay, that sounds like a bear bet.
okay,
I'm gonna be betting that Mahomes starts.
he's gonna want to. But my thing is, well, first of all, them saying that he's going to go to training camp doesn't necessarily mean that he's actually going to do anything once he's there. You know what I'm
All right,
saying? He can show up. He'll be on the sideline somewhere, but he's not gonna do any actual work.
all right,
He
all
just,
right.
he just recovered from surgery. You know what I'm saying? So look, I think they're gonna slow play it. I think they're gonna slow roll it, and I think
Okay,
this
so
it
here's the other thing. I mean, considering the fact that they actually, picked up Kenneth Walker,
yes, yep,
they're going to
and
run
Justin
the
Fields,
shit out of the ball, is what they're
right?
going to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
But
and with
that
Justin
doesn't
Fields
mean,
too.
huh?
They have Justin Fields too. So I think the first few weeks at least they're gonna try to be very
And what the
conservative with
fuck
their
is
offensive
Justin
play
Fields
calling.
going to do? Come on.
That's what I'm
He's going
saying.
to get smoked.
Hey, look, hey, all power to him. And as a I'm not saying I'm a 100% Chief hater. I'm pretty sure I'm a less Chief hater than you are. But all I'm saying is whatever type of struggles that the Kansas City Chiefs have, go right ahead. Because and look, they've had a lot of prosperity even the last 10 years. So they put their the despair on hold for a long time. It's about time they start reaping the benefits or lack thereof
All right.
over the past few years. So go ahead and
I'm going
struggle.
to
I don't
give
care.
you, I'm going to give you a beer bet
What's up?
that both Knicks and Mahomes start week 1.
Oh, I'll take that bet. Come
Oh,
on.
I'll take that bet right now. You sure? I'm
Oh,
giving you
I
a
am
chance.
certainly sure.
Okay.
Considering I already took 2 from you,
All
yeah,
right. Yep.
I'm sure.
And you know I honor our bets. So I'm more than happy to facilitate that if I'm wrong. Hell, and if that happens, hell, you know what? Let me keep my mouth shut. Okay, a beer bet.
Okay,
Beer bet is agreed to.
let's put it this way. I hope I lose in the sense that Bo Nix actually plays and Mahomes doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that's a beer well spent. But
That's fine.
anyway,
Um,
so
yeah,
let's move on.
go on. Yes.
So we are moving on to week 4.
Okay.
So we got it's always a grind, with these guys, and I know that Hater, you actually talked about it at nauseum about our collective, I would say, disdain for Aaron Rodgers.
Mhm.
But he actually is going to be taken against the Browns. How in the blue am I actually rooting for the Browns on this one on Thursday night?
First
But
of all,
I most certainly am. I want to see that motherfucker get smoked.
fir-
I'm
fir-
just saying.
first and foremost, let's get one thing clear. When it comes to Aaron Rodgers versus Cleveland, especially what I had to witness yesterday with the Cleveland Cavaliers, I wouldn't mind if a meteor dropped on that damn stadium on Thursday, October 1st. Okay, and I wouldn't shed not one damn tear. Now I ain't got no problem with Shador Sanders. You know what I'm saying? But if it's Aaron Rodgers versus Deshaun Watson, drop a meteor. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. All right. All right. So moving on. Uh, so another one that's actually kind of intriguing to me is, and let me ask you guys this: what do you think about the Eagles moving into this season because they're taking on the Rams?
Questions.
Um,
Questions.
Mm.
A lot of
Mm.
questions there. You know, that this could be an intriguing matchup as well.
Ooh, and this is a rematch from last year. And remember, in that I think it was like a week 2 or week 3 matchup back then, and Philadelphia escaped with it was like a blocked field goal or something like that. I think Jalen God, I can't think of his name. Not Jordan Davis. It was Jalen. God, I can't think of his name. But anyway, they got lucky. They got lucky off a blocked field goal to win that game. So
Yeah.
LA is going to be looking for revenge on that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. The other one that I was actually keying up on is always one of the Texas favorites, which is the Cowboys and the Texans.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so to be fair, the Cowboys, I think that they really nailed their draft.
They did.
This year.
I
You know,
agree.
but the Texans, their defense is
Stout.
legit.
Stout. Yeah.
I mean, I honestly think the Texans actually are going to take this one, but it's going to be one hell of a ride.
My only question for Houston is how strong is their offensive line?
Yeah, I agree.
Because they got everything else, but it's that damn offensive line. And of course, Dallas's defense should be much improved. This is a big season for CJ Stroud right now. So he's looking
Yeah,
to
it
get
is.
paid. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
Be a fun one.
Oh,
So
uh,
the
uh,
other one that I actually really wanted to get your take on there, Mr. Raider, is week 4 against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm hoping. So I'm predicting Mendoza will be a starter by between week 4 and week 8.
mm,
So if that's the case, I think we'll take it. I think we'll win, and
So
it'll be
wow.
is Geno Smith, is he still
No.
there?
Mm-mm.
no. He's with the
I didn't
Jets.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Kirk
So
Cousins.
Yeah,
oh, that's right, it's Kirk Cousins.
yeah. Which
Ah,
I don't feel any kind of way about. I think he's a good bridge quarterback to give Mendoza time to get used to the speed of the game and also other stuff. That way we don't have an Andrew Luck situation with Mendoza. But the Raiders have always played the Chiefs tough. Like we could have a losing season and we'll still come close to beating them. It's just
Yeah.
it's different, It really is.
yeah.
So it's gonna be a good game. But I hope we whoop that ass.
That's always a fun one. You know, I mean, the Chiefs and the Raiders, I mean, any kind of divisional rival. I mean, you got the Chargers, they're there, but
Yeah.
whatever. You know,
Hey,
but
when did the sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, that's always a fun rivalry there. Uh
Absolutely. When is the Ravens Steelers game?
Ravens
Ravens
Steelers.
Steelers.
That's usually a good primetime game.
Well, we're getting to it.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
we'll let down. Let's see.
Your
We're
first.
going up to, week
Oh
uh
wow.
well,
Um.
we're week 5 right now. So,
Okay.
week 5, let's see, what are some of the fun games there? Let me see. We have the Broncos and the Chargers.
You got
Let me
Buffalo and the
see.
Rams on Monday night.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say the Bills and the Rams. That'll be a
Oh,
really,
boy.
really good right there. And then not only that, but they also have the Bears and the Packers. I think that's gonna be a fun game to watch too. What do you think
Yeah.
about that one, dude?
Mm.
Um. Well, first of all, this is another cheer for a meteor type game, but I like, but just beat themselves senseless. I'm perfectly fine with that. But I will say, I think
Dang,
that's
dude.
advantage for Chicago because that's a rivalry game that they're getting pretty early. It's week 5, and that's one thing about the NFC North. That's one of the first things that, at least I know for me, is looking at when our divisional games are happening, especially the outdoor ones. When is that happening? Is it gonna be early or late? And so we'll talk about it later. But at least for Chicago, I'm pretty sure they're happy of the fact that they get to go to Green Bay in early October versus mid November or something.
Okay. So what about the Bills and the Rams? That'll be a fun one.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
fun. That's gonna be real fun. Eh, Here's this one. I think completely on the other side of the spectrum as far as fun versus snooze fest. But Cleveland at the Jets. You talk about a race to the bottom.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
Early Bullet
God.
Bowl game.
Oh my God. I
I'm
uh,
glad Monster's not here right now because he'll be mad. But I'm just saying, like, this is hopefully, this hopefully will get, well, first of all, will Deshaun Watson still be quarterback by the time you get to that game? That's the first thing.
right.
Second of all, who in the hell will Geno Smith still have his job by the time you get to that game?
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot, will the head coach of the Jets have the job by the time of that game?
That's a very true statement. And as a fan of Aaron Glenn, I hate the fact that this is happening right now on his watch, man. I really do.
All right, gentlemen. So we've only gotten through week 5.
Yes.
This could go on for the next 4 hours.
We can no, we can parse through this. We have a whole off season, and we're already gonna, I've already had some ideas I want to float y'all way, off the record, as far as future shows. But hey, we just got to the first quarter of the season, and it's quite a bit of games to look forward to, at least for right now. And some of the drama that we've already seen so far is going to be pretty interesting. And
yeah, absolutely. Between the draft and just any of the transactions that were made and all the trades, and oh my gosh, it's been nonsensical. So this is this is the best part of the year when it's not NFL. When there's not games being played, when you get to actually still see all this.
I'll give the NFL credit on this note. They sure know how to stretch everything into an event.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they really have worked this thing to an art where people are actually excited about the schedule. Because they know, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the one time of the year where everybody, all 32 teams, have hope.
And
what
I want
unless
to
you're the Jets.
know is who in the blue actually invented fantasy football. Because they made it into a totally different event altogether. It's just remarkable.
Yeah. Well, we'll say just a small thing about the NFL schedules too is, especially when you have a dynasty league, because now you get to see how many of your players are going to be on bye week at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that does matter.
And, I will say this, this tomorrow is going to be a very, very busy day for me. Considering I'm going to have to, holy cow, I'm going to have to prepare my house for a bunch of troglodytes that,
oh Lord,
want to pretend to play fantasy football, that kind of stuff, so.
Spoken like a true champion.
I was going to say, no. We will not have this happen. Not today. And for the audience, I want to be clear about this. So our league has this annual, I call it the league meeting of league meetings, okay, where we celebrate and we crown the newest champion. And as part of the bylaws, the champion actually hosts the rookie draft the following season. And so allow me, as the runner-up from last year, to formally pronounce that this Saturday we will be crowning the commissioner of our league as champion for 2026. It hurts my heart. I can't stand it, and it stinks. But it's all in good fun because this man has been wallowing around in mediocrity for the last 4 or 5 years, and he managed to actually be brave enough to sacrifice his team to some degree and make some trades with me, and it actually translated into a championship. So, Angry Joey, allow this moment from me as a concession and an admittance that you are now champion. Congratulations.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry, I almost threw up in my mouth.
Oh my God, that's just music to my ears. Oh,
yeah,
Lord have mercy. I mean, it just makes my heart warm, hearing you guys and your misery. That's just awesome.
Whatever.
Oh man, But okay, to be fair to the audience, I mean, we've been together for a minute,
Yeah.
and for we're going on what 13 years right now, right?
13. This is
Yeah.
draft
This
number 13.
this
Yes,
is
sir.
year 13, so I mean, that doesn't just happen. I mean, you actually have to be friends with the guys in your league, and I mean, truth be told, and not getting too sappy or anything like that, but I couldn't have thought of better friends than these guys. I really couldn't. I mean, it's just it's all fun. It really is. We really do enjoy each other. And then we have our draft day. We call it Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah.
Really. But it's it's just a lot of fun. It's really cool. The brotherhood that we actually have it's awesome.
Hmm.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But all right. Well, so we are coming up on an hour. Is there
Yes.
anything else from a schedule perspective or from the college that y'all want to reattack?
I only have one thing, and like I said, we'll go into more details with our individual teams. But I do want to point out this one thing that I saw when I saw my Detroit Lions schedule for 2026 that has pissed me off. Specifically, I'm happy at the fact that we're going to have an international game, which is cool. But with all of the NFL's talk about player safety, how in the hell you're going to give us a week 6 bye while giving us the Germany game, which is going to be week 10. Then we have to come back and play the Bucks, and then that leads to Thanksgiving where we play the Bears. So we're going to end up playing 3 games in a 11 or 12-day span,
Mm.
and throwing an international game in between that. I mean, this is just egregious work by the NFL in that perspective, and I don't understand it. I truly don't understand it. It pisses me off. But hey, you know what? They play the schedule for they create the schedule. We just gotta deal with it. I want to see my team in the playoffs, and we just had to get it out the mud this year. So it is what it is. But I just wanted to point out about the fact of how much that is. But it's okay. We'll deal with it because it's Detroit versus everybody. It's all right.
All right. Whatever. But I agree. I hear what you're saying, man. But it ain't Detroit versus everybody else. Nobody wants to go to Detroit. Let's be real.
Hey, watch,
Just
hey,
kidding.
watch your mouth, bro. Watch your mouth. Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. If you want to get robbed, go to Detroit.
Mm-mm,
I'm just kidding.
mm-mm.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I've actually on the positive. I heard a lot of positive stuff about Detroit, man.
Yes.
That there's
Yes.
businesses and it's really
Yes.
the downtown area has really been cleaned up and changed and it's
Yeah.
on the come up, man, for the last
It
several
is.
years. So I know I'm saying that stuff. I was in jest, but no, for real, I heard it's really growing.
Yeah.
It's good
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been through it's definitely been through a very, very rough time for in the past 20 years. But it's nice to see that investment is coming back, and they're really on the turnaround and the come up, and it really makes me happy.
Absolutely. And I'm the last one to talk because I'm from East LA. So I'm not gonna talk
Yeah.
about somebody's
Yeah.
neighborhood. Tell you that right now. All right. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, do y'all want to transition to the Kiss My Grits and Alamo Minute? Or do you have anything else before we do that?
Nope, I got nothing.
Let me explain it to the audience real quick. I know for ours that have been
my
listening to us, I'm sure you know what it is, but for those new listeners and especially those listeners around the world, we have a segment we like to call, well, 2 segments we like to call. One of them is Kiss My Grits and the other is an Alamo Minute. With the Kiss My Grits, it's just if anything asinine that's going on that you want to put a spotlight on and call down to the carpet, bring it to the woodshed, that's the time to do it. An Alamo Minute is basically giving a shout out, something positive. It can be a business, a person, whatever, something good going on. That's the time to do it. So, Angry Joe, you said you have a shout out. Go for it.
Well, it's not really a shout out so much, I mean, it was just a kind of a just a congratulations to the Avs and also to the San Antonio Spurs. I really, really hope that they're able to scoop out this series because I mean, honestly, if the Spurs actually are able to carve out this win against the Timberwolves, man, they're going to be tough to beat. I mean, as far as the NBA is concerned. So I'm really hoping and praying that everybody is actually able to stay healthy and play their game. But nevertheless, it's been really a good, fun series to watch on both ends. So I enjoy the sports. I really do.
Okay, cool. Angry, hater with facts. You have. Oh, I think you said you didn't have one.
That's correct. Yep.
You have a shout out.
No shout outs today. I'm gonna leave the NBA refs alone. But I got nothing.
All right. Well, I don't have a Kiss My Grits, but I do have an Alamo Minute. And this one is specifically to my niece, who I love very much. I just want to say sorry I can't be there for your qualifier. She's having a boxing qualifier when we're doing our fantasy football draft. So she's been really working towards this and focusing, and she's boxing. So she's gonna be in Austin on the 16th to be able to compete for this qualifier. So I believe it's a Golden Glove qualifier. Anyway, shout out to her and her team, and I hope she does well. And no matter what happens in that ring, I just want you to know you're still my favorite niece. She'll get that joke. She'll get it. All right, y'all.
I second that. I hope she whoop everybody ass.
Me too.
Belt the ass on everybody.
I hope she goes in there and Mike Tyson's them all and sleeps them in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, slap them to sleep.
That's right. That's right. All right. So now, if you want to get a hold of us or you want to interact with us, Hater of Faxes, then he can put you on game on how to do so.
Yes, if you want to get a hold of us, we are available on Apple, Spotify, and Overcast at D210 Show. If you want to check us out on YouTube, we're at D210 Show Pod. And please leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell if you do so choose. So every time we drop one of these new ones, it hits your ears real fast. And we appreciate the 25 subscribers that we have. We appreciate the international listeners that we have accumulated so far. We like the fact that the 210 Show is worldwide, and we want to continue to grow. So please, if you like what you hear, please share it with a friend. We'll really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, gentlemen. Great pod as always. Audience, thank y'all for your support and love. Take care of each other. God bless and have a good night.